Leanne Barrette is looking to make this her year, while Jan Schmidt hopes to see another crowning in Louisiana. But watch out for Wendy McPherson-Papanos. She's back again this week. And Jackie Sellers has her eyes on her second title. But all eyes were on Jeannie Naccarato in last night's position round. Bowling for the first place position, she had 11 in a row. Well, she didn't get the 300 game, finishing with 299, but she did gain the tournament lead, which may be more important. ESPN and the Ladies Professional Bowlers Tour present the championship finals of the $50,000 Alexandria Louisiana Open. You're looking at Alexandria, Louisiana, where in contrast to last week, it's about 70 degrees outside. And inside Four Seasons Bowl, we'll see just how hot it gets. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Durbin. And working with me this week is Leila Wagner. Leila, like last week, we've got kind of a blend of experience and inexperience on the telecast, and we also have one very hot bowler in Wendy McPherson-Papanos.
Well, she's starting off this year, Mike, just like she finished last year. 93 was a booming year for Wendy McPherson-Papanos. She actually was up for Player of the Year honors. Wendy is coming out in 94 with 2 straight telecasts. She finished the year last year with 3 telecasts in a row. She is looking to move on and win this title tonight.
Well, we'll see if she can do that. In our opening match, we really have inexperience going against experience. Jan Schmidt, even though she won the Queen's title last year, that's her only victory. She's going up against a 14-time champion in Leanne Barrette.
Well, she is, and Leanne Barrette has finished third twice here in Alexandria. But Jan Schmidt has bowled well early on in the week. She was our qualifying leader, and she was plagued a little bit by the flu, bronchitis earlier in the year, and unfortunately, she was just unable to keep it going this week. But you know how it is when you start bowling well, you find the energy. Have to see if Jan can find the energy tonight.
Well, we'll see if that energy is in our opening match as Jan Schmidt takes on Leanne Barrette. Leanne Barrette opening up on lane 13 here. We're using 13 and 14 at Four Seasons Bowl. 14 titles in only 26 years of age.
Definitely one of the dominating players on tour right now, but she's been in a bit of a dry spell for a win. She failed to win a title in 93.
Right away, starts with the 2-4-10, kind of leaked that, went a little wide from where she was playing earlier in the practice shots that I noticed.
This is something that we've seen Leanne do on the telecast, especially in the past. She gets a little quick with her feet, sends the ball a little to the right, and is unable to get it back.
Even with that big hook.
Even with that big hook. She'll try to hit left of the 2-pin, slide it in. Oh, gave it a good run.
Talked to her last night, and even though she's had all this success, she really didn't seem real confident or sure of herself.
Well, she's made some physical changes in her game, Mike, and we'll discuss those a little bit later in the match. But whenever you make those changes, as you all know...
I'm not going to go. Who's here?
Listen, Jan, there she's... Oh, there's something flying...
We have a mosquito.
A mosquito. It's
okay.
a giant mosquito. Oh, Leanne's throwing towels at it.
Uh-oh.
Ouch.
Jan is now going to be known as the exterminator on the tour.
Well, we have the Terminator, now we got the Exterminator.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, and getting back to my point, Leanne has made physical changes in her games, and you well know that when that happens, you lose your confidence until you get those down pat.
A little slow.
A little comment there, a little slow. It's a pretty accurate assessment. She's analyzing her own game like she analyzed the games last week, huh?
That's right. Maybe I'll just sit back and be quiet, and we'll let Jan tell the story. She's got the best seat in the house right down there.
Interesting that she stands all the way to the back of the approach and takes only 4 steps.
Very large steps. Yes, a lot of players use all of the approach, but when they do, they take 5 steps.
Well, she opens up with a spare, giving her a quick 12-pin lead.
Jan led the tournament for the first 4 rounds, and as we talked about in the opening, she had been sick earlier. She said she went off the antibiotics that she had been on for 6 weeks in hopes that she'd get some of her muscle strength back, but then it seemed that the bronchitis started setting back into her chest. She started feeling weak. Last night she was feeling sick again, so we'll have to see if she can hang on tonight. This ball goes solid in the pocket. She's playing a very direct line right around the first arrow. 6-pin slaps out the 10.
I'm familiar with that line.
I am too, actually. I like to play that line. Of course, I did not play this week. It figures that's my luck of the draw. And another nice hit, but Leanne Barrette rings the 10. Her ball finishing a little bit late.
She has such a nice finish position when she winds up there. So stretched out, reaching out for the pins, and on balance.
Something that amateurs should strive for, that reach out and follow through.
No trouble with the 10-pin. So we've completed 2 frames here, and Leanne Barrette still looking for her first strike.
Let's see, high game 275, low game 148. I asked the players, how did the pairs play from when you crossed the house, and they said they were different. The right end of the house seemed to be much tighter. The low end hooked a little bit more, and even just crossing from pair to pair, they were different. So you might see those big high games and their low games. Jan had a big range of high game, low game herself. She shot 298 as her high game and 128 for her low game.
That is a big range there. Comes a little high and leaves the 10-pin here.
Really got a break here as the ball comes in very high, almost left the big 4, but
looks like the whole back row was there at one time or another, huh?
Somewhere. Trying for a second 10-pin in a row. Oh my. Critical error by Leanne there. She hooks by the 10-pin.
Is that caused by nerves now, would you think, or what?
I don't think so much of nerves, Mike. Leanne's a pretty confident player when she's shooting spares or when she's on television. She has been on a number of times in her career. I was pulling that up 46 times on TV.
Talked to Jan Schmidt about whether she made some changes in her game, and this is what she had to say.
No, I was hoping to. I was going to go to 15-pound equipment and go to grips during January, but because of being ill, I wasn't able to do it. So I really haven't made any changes, but I'd like to.
Everybody's always trying to get better, right?
Well, that's right. You can see Jan Schmidt, 5 television career appearances, and she's talking about it, Carrie. And you've got to be willing to make changes. She told me she loses about 3 to 4 shots a game.
Well, 44 pins ahead. When we come back, we'll find if Leanne Barrette can make any changes in that lead. Leanne Barrette looking for her first strike on lane 14, and right now she's dug a hole for herself. She's got to make a comeback here. Swings it again.
And broke up the 2-8-10. Leanne Barrette trying to play the outside line, but much different angle than what Jan Schmidt is playing. Jan Schmidt playing from right to left, almost pointing the ball up to the pocket. Leanne Barrette, of course, an entirely different style, entirely different game, goes right with the ball. She is trying to cross the boards, and it's just not coming back from out there.
Her 3rd consecutive 10-pin. This time she converts it. When I was watching her in practice, well, here we'll take a look at her style.
Leanne made some changes recently. She used to push the ball very low, hold the ball low in her stance, push it low. Now she's holding the ball waist high and actually pushing the ball straight out. It's something she felt would get her in time better. She started doing this, believe it or not, Mike, in the finals. And she said, the first time I have felt consistent for months.
Well, that's her first strike. She needs to be consistently getting more strikes here.
Well, that ball stayed on a much tighter line.
Well, that's the way she was doing in practice. She wasn't circling so much, and you can see on the bowler track there that she just covered about 3.5 boards with that one.
That's right. I think she really was a little bit out of time on the other ones, and it's just sending it out too far to the right. Jan has a nice line right to the pocket.
Well, she seems to know what to do when she gets out ahead. She just keeps throwing the ball in the 1-3 pocket.
Well, we saw her practice a lot of 10 pins, as you made note of.
Every time I looked at her, she was practicing this 10-pin. We figured, well, she must be figuring on leaving a few.
And she switches balls to shoot the 10-pin.
No trouble. Well, we're halfway through the match. 43 pins ahead is Jan Schmidt.
You can see exactly the line Jan Schmidt is playing at the 15 feet. She's at the 5th board. Now, she is going a little bit right, but not much. Half a board.
Really
Isn't she swinging it there?
Yeah.
And at 45 feet, the ball's at the 9 board on the way to the pocket.
Carry one time.
And got the wall shot. Heard her say carry one time. She wants to put the pressure, keep the pressure on Leanne Barrette. She knows Leanne Barrette's capabilities. And I mentioned the light wall shot as she, again, right around the first arrow, heading straight towards the pocket, hits the head pin, off the wall, pin splatter.
Well, she's the emotional type, huh?
Yes, she is. She definitely gets into this game.
Leanne has to strike here. Looks good. All right. Well, Leanne's not doing too well, but we talked to her earlier whether she had any big expectations for tonight.
Tonight, I don't really have a lot of expectations because I'm so happy that I made it. That was one goal, to make the show. To refocus, it would be to, maybe win a game and get something going. I think it's very possible if I win one game, I can, maybe win 2 or 3. So, but I really don't have a lot of expectations.
Well, right now, as we take a look at the score, see she's working on a double. She'd like to have one more strike to bite into that lead a little bit. Looks good.
That's right. She talked about those expectations. She really has had a lot of success here at Alexandria.
Well, you got 3.5 frames to go. 23 pins is the lead. When we come back, we'll see if Jan Schmidt can keep the pressure on. Jan Schmidt trying to double, swings it a little bit. Oh, it came back, but didn't get the 7-pin. That pin spinning around it.
Really threw that ball farther to the right than she had been.
Mosquito needs to be killed. He's flying around out there, and it's very distracting.
Did you hear that? That mosquito needs to be killed. It was distracting her. Let's take a look exactly. Yes, 2 boards inside or outside of where she had placed the ball before. It almost came back for her, though, so you know those boards might be a little bit drier. She's able to get it back.
But right now, the biggest thing on her mind is a little mosquito out there. She almost wishes it would bite her and get it over with,
I don't think that mosquito was little either. I saw it. It looked pretty big.
That's a Louisiana mosquito.
Exactly. Jan started full-time on the tour in the fall of '89. She's been out here 9 years total, but for the first few years, she actually just bowled part-time, held down a corporate job.
Her husband, Greg, runs a bowling center
In Rochelle, Illinois.
So bowling's in their family.
Come on.
Another 10-pin. Every ball in the pocket. Carry is the problem. Well, this match is getting closer as the frames get closer toward the end here.
That's right. Leanne Barrette could actually go to the wall and shoot 236. She could force Jan Schmidt to throw the next 3 strikes.
Yeah. That's what they say. When you get down to the end, we find out, who's going to respond.
And as I was mentioning that before we went away to commercial, Leanne Barrette has had a lot of success here, Mike. She has finished 3rd here twice, 5th last year. She's won a couple regionals here. She shot back-to-back 300s here in 1990.
Needless to say, she likes this bowling center.
She does very well here.
Does she bowl well in a lot of synthetic centers where they have the synthetic surface like they do here?
I'll be honest with you, I've really not noticed whether one or the other when she was really dominating, when she was up for Bowler of the Year. Beautiful shot. She can create so much back ends, though. Synthetics have a tendency to give you more back ends. I think she can do equally well on wood.
Boy.
Take a look at the power on this shot here. Swings the ball all the way out to about the 3rd board, but watch it rip back. She got a hold of that one.
And a little sigh of relief.
Check out her speed, Mike.
Man.
18.7 miles per hour.
Now she's covering more boards, yet throwing it harder than Jan Schmidt is.
Yes, but she has a lot more revolutions on the ball than Jan Schmidt does. It's just all in the power of the release.
This would cut it to 2, and does. It's a 2-pin ball game as we head to the 9th and 10th frame.
Playing the left lane much tighter. She threw the ball on the right lane out to the 2 board. That ball there went only out to the 6th board, and it does appear that on lane 13 she is playing inside of the first arrow. I'll show you that last shot on lane 13, Mike. As you can see there, 15 feet, the ball was at the 10th board, 30 feet at the 6th board as compared to the frame before. At 30 feet, her ball was on the 2 board.
Well, right now, Jan Schmidt, who put some tape in her ball, wants to get something going. She needs to talk to that ball more of it. Carrying, it seems to obey.
I want to re-rack, please.
She's re-racking. Right now, she can shoot 238. Leanne Barrette can only shoot 236.
Can you see what's wrong with that rack?
Well, it could be for a little extra time, too, in this position. She knows she's up against a very good player in Leanne Barrette. I don't know.
She's playing. You told me that she changes that tape more than anybody on tour.
Yes, she does. And she's looking for that tight feel in the fingers. She's adding a little bit of tape. She talked about how she wants to eventually go to finger grips. We'll talk about that tip, or talk about that later on my tip, Mike. But she's looking for a tight feel to get more lift with her fingers to try to knock that 10-pin out.
Big shot right here.
Come on, one time.
Oh, she couldn't have thrown it any better.
She checked the scoreboard. Now she's going again right around the first arrow. You're right, she couldn't have thrown it any better. She needed that little extra piece of tape, I guess, to get that 10-pin out, huh?
Gave her that right feel. One time, you can read those lips. She gets into it, doesn't she?
And what did I talk about in the opening? If she could start bowling well, she would find the energy. It looks like she has the energy right now, doesn't it?
Well, she still needs 1 more and 9 and a spare to lock her out. A little extra time here. Is she thinking any particular thoughts right now?
Probably. I would have to be saying just do what I did last time. Stay focused. Make a good shot. She hasn't missed the pocket this game.
Carry it for me.
Carry it for me.
Oh, the solid 9. Carry it for me, and it stabbed her right in the back.
It sure did. That was probably one of the balls that she had the most revolutions on. Watch the ball here continue to drive. Normally it takes out the 9-pin. It just drives sharp right to the left. Bad break. I was reading her lips as I was trying to talk.
Oh, no.
And there it is, written all over her face.
How many solid 9s does she leave? Not too many, I wouldn't think. At the 9-pin, she converts it, finishes with 227. What does Leanne need to do?
Leanne needs 2 strikes in the 10th frame and a couple of pins.
So the count's not important. It's the 2 strikes.
It's the 2 strikes. She gets the first 2, and I guarantee you she's just going to keep the ball in the center of the lane. She's set now. Look at the difference. Does she have some room on lane 14?
Yep.
I think she just found her hold area, Mike.
She didn't think that ball was going to strike at all. Watch how she stands straight up after she lets it go.
Well, compared to where she hit that lane last time when the ball went out to the 3 board, that ball stayed very tight, more like she was playing lane 13. Probably went out to about the 7th board at the most, and she went, whoa, because she knew she got around that one. It was more of a frozen rope, tight roped it right into the pocket, and it still carried.
So does she tight rope this one, or does she swing it?
Wow, she's going to swing it.
Okay.
But she also knows she's got the area now in case.
Should make her relaxed.
Nice shot there. Beautiful. Wow. Did that come off her hand? And look at Jan Schmidt shaking her head knowing that solid 9-pin. Leanne Barrette needs 2 pins to win this match. Beautiful shot there in the 11th frame. She says, hey, they gave me that first one. I'm going to make use of it. And,
well, she took advantage of it. Boy, some big scores here in this opening game. 230 to 220. 230 with 2 opens.
That's right. She missed the 2-4-10 opening shot. 10-pin in the 3rd frame.
Needs 2. That's going to get enough right there. That gets 9. That's more than enough. Our winner, Leanne Barrette, is 235 to 227. When we come back, Leila's going to give us a tip about some grips. Well, as the two shake hands, we had somebody out here killing mosquitoes and miller moths, and but they still seem to be flying around. So we'll see if there's any interference calls here.
Yes, it's nice that they have bugs this time of the year, Mike. Where I live, I'm not sure there's a whole lot living, except the people.
Well, I'm in Cleveland, you know. You're in Baltimore. They're similar. Wow, she may never stop striking now. She's wired and relaxed, and Wendy better be ready to strike.
You're exactly right, and she mentioned that in her little soundbite we heard earlier. She said if I could get comfortable and win a few games, maybe I could just continue to win, and it looks that way. She just does look very loose now.
Did you find it that way when you got through that first match?
Oh, definitely, definitely. First one under your belt. Also, you get a feel for the lanes. The lanes have changed a little bit in practice, you know, between the carry down and the breakdown of the conditioner. They sort of settle into a certain type of play, a certain type of condition.
Wendy, as she goes through the week, does she let things bother her? Is she pretty steady through the whole bowling experience?
She's been very steady. She's told me she came out this week. She just never bowled really bad. She just came out and stayed very consistent all week. I've never seen Wendy really have to come from the bottom. She always seems to be right there. Very consistent player on the tour.
Does she having a problem or anything with anger or anything like that, or up and down?
No. Oh, no. Wendy's probably one of the calmest players on tour that I've seen when watching her compete.
Well, her success at such a young age really would speak to that. First youngest woman to win the Triple Crown in the LPBT.
Well, I remember the year she won the U.S. Open when she came out. Now, she's been on tour 9 years. She started when she was 18 when she won the U.S. Open. And she was very calm and just went on up through the field. I think she qualified third or fourth in that telecast for that U.S. Open title, too. And she just went through the field like she had done it many times before.
I remember Mike Albee doing that on Minster. She leaves a solid 9 on the same lane that Jan Schmidt did.
I wonder if those pins are a little bit off spot like Jan racked, you know, but the balls these days with the resin equipment and that, you know how hard they drive in the back end, they're just turning left at the pocket.
Those pins don't have a chance. Huh?
They don't. That 9 pin doesn't.
They seem to have a chance against my ball. I don't know.
Mine too. I haven't quite figured that out. I probably am back a decade or so. Need to go back a decade. But I'm working on it.
Wow. She looks great.
Leanne Barrette, 93, 17 tournaments, 15 cashes. Consistent year, but again, she was unable to break through and win. Take a look at where she's playing the lane. Again, right around the 9th, the 7th board. This is identical to the shot she threw in the 11th. This is the premium line for her right now. But you know what? She created the area. She can let it out to 2 or 3, still get it back. She can pull it inside her target just a hair, and it'll set. So now she's got the lane working with her.
Always relaxes that arm swing, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does. You feel like you don't have to hit one board. And what was the last pin to go?
The 9 pin.
The 9 pin.
That seems to be the optimum pin of the night right now.
And on lane 13. That lane's breaking extremely sharp in the back end. Watch that. The ball ball didn't take out the 9.
No. It looked like the 3 pin just barely clipped it there. I'm not sure which pin it was, but it looked like the 3. And Wendy is... You know, she borrowed my fingernail clippers earlier or something. There's something wrong with her thumb there.
Yes, actually, her callus has started to rip off, and she borrowed your fingernail clippers to get that off before it tore and tore some new skin and made it really sore.
Trim it right down there, huh?
You can see there she's had a 2nd place finish here in Alexandria. It was in 1992.
Well, whatever she did, that turned out right, but she's down 21 pins, and we're heading to the 4th frame. She needs to start putting some pressure on Leanne here because she looks like she'll never stop striking.
Well, Leanne Barrette actually has thrown the first 10 strikes on TV. It was the highest television scoring match in the history of the LPBT. Leanne Barrette defeated Lita Sill 279 to 276. It was in Virginia Beach, Virginia in 1988.
For the double.
Oh, watch the head pin. You betcha.
A little messenger coming across there with a message.
That's right. Wendy says, you bet. Yes, for the double.
And
Take
Leanne,
a look at this pin action. The head pin's going to go off the left wall. She thought she's leaving a flat 10 here, but no, here it comes.
now
I'll
that-
take care of you.
Is that a direct reaction, result of the resin balls and the dry back ends and things like that, do you think?
Well, did that ever happen with the urethane?
Oh, never.
I'd say occasionally that happened, but I think it enables a little bit more hitting power, get those pins flying a little bit more. Resin definitely doesn't hurt it. Ooh, that ball going for 12.
They all look the same.
They do. I have to tell you, looking at bowler track on that shot.
Yeah, she swung that one a little more.
Yes, she did. She
to
went
five.
out to 5. See, she defeated Wendy McPherson in match play, but really that was a day ago, and the lanes change from day to day. And
Do some of the gals just seem to have it over other gals as far as match play competition?
I think there might be a few, you know, there might be one person out there that, hey, I haven't ever beat her, or, I always beat that player. And you might remember that, but over so many events, I don't think there's really any certain run, and every player has a very positive outlook on it that, hey, the next week's a whole different week.
Well, Leanne Barrette is perfect so far through 5 frames. Wendy McPherson-Papanos doesn't look too worried about it.
Well, you can't control what the other player does. You can only go out there and think about what you've got to do. And right now, Wendy McPherson just needs to make good shots. She shot a great game last week, lost by 1 pin. Things just haven't gone her way. We talked about the telecast 5 in a row. She's made 5 telecasts in a row and has not been able to win a championship title.
Is that playing on your mind?
Well, she's got to look at, well, I bowled well, but the other players have just bowled better, and my day is going to come sometime.
So 3rd time's the charm. She's hoping 5th time is the charm here, huh?
That's right. Right now, Leanne Barrette is definitely putting her nails into it.
See, these mosquitoes are coming up after us now.
They sure are.
Decided maybe they had to...
Trying to cut the lead down to 11 with a strike here in the 6th frame. We'll give Wendy McPherson 4 in a row.
Wow. Both these gals now seem to be playing that tighter line a little bit.
Well, should you play your hold or should you play your swing? And I guess I've always believed keep the dry boards to the right, try to find that oil line, play it a little bit in case you turn the ball a little early. Ball sets for you. If you sent the ball a little right, it's going to come back, and these players are definitely doing that.
We're going to stay right with this game as long as she keeps striking.
5 in a row, looking for number 6. Oh.
Well, that didn't last long, did it? She left that 10 pin. We're going to have a close match here now. Both players wired into the pocket. It's going to be a matter of who can carry down the stretch here. If she converts this, which she missed one in the first match, it will be a 10-pin match through 6 frames.
2-time Lynn Shue Player of the Year in 90 and 91. 91, she was Bowling Writers Association Bowler of the Year.
And that measured just right. Ball holds on there and converts to 10-pin. So right now, 10 pins the difference, 4 frames to go.
16,300 games Leanne Barrette has. Unfortunately, that 10 pin there in the 6th frame probably has kept her from having another one. But you can see what a close match this can actually become.
Well, right now she just wants to get untracked and get it started over again.
Both players could shoot 279 if they go to the wall. Right back on it. Look at the revs on that shot.
Leanne Barrette throwing every ball in the pocket, leading by 10 pins. When we'll come back, we'll see if Wendy McPherson-Papanos can catch up and go ahead. Don't go away. Wendy with an opportunity to even the match right now on lane 14.
7th frame. She does it.
Well, 3 frames to go. We've got an even match. There's another look at it. See how tight this line is. She's keeping it tight.
Yes, she is. She's playing really really right around the 10th, 8th board, right close to the second arrow. 30 feet, the ball went out, actually, to the first arrow, the 5th board, but she's got a little bit of room.
If we take those strikes all the way through, they would both wind up with 279. So right now, it's an even match.
For those fans out there, Carol Giannotti had her MRI done last week. She had to withdraw. We were very uncertain the status of her arm. She had her MRI done. It came out negative. It turned out to be tendons. She is hoping to be back in competition next week.
And Wendy has taken the lead in the 8th frame with her, what is that, 6th consecutive strike? Let's see if Leanne Barrette can respond now as she did in the last match against Jan Schmidt.
Leanne's last title, the Hammer Eastern Open, up in my neck of the woods, Baltimore in 1992.
Wow. She's bowling as if she doesn't need to practice or make any changes at all, but we asked her that earlier if she made any changes or practiced very much, and this is what she had to say.
I didn't bowl much in December, and I bowled almost every day in January. I mean, I worked harder this time than I ever have to come out and bowl. I mean, I practiced hard, practiced days, like a 3-hour day. I practiced one day. I mean, I just really put a lot into it this time because I didn't want to, I knew this could be a big year with the added prize funds and everything, and I wanted to make sure that I was totally prepared.
Well, she looks like she's prepared. Swings that one. Oh, man, it comes back flush. Wow. Who's going to crack here?
Well, we talk about opening up the lane, and she does it right here. This ball had to have gone out to about the 2 board. Breaks back sharply, but carries all 10. Actually, it went out to the 3 board, according to Bowler Track.
Oh, and a little, come on there. Wow. I mean, hey.
Right now, Wendy McPherson can throw all 4 and just hope Leanne Barrette doesn't throw 3 to tie.
Well, we're even heading to 10th. Somebody's going to win this match, folks.
It might be a 9th and 10th frame roll-off, but you're right. Someone will win somewhere down the road.
Somewhere down the road.
High-scoring game.
Leanne with 8 strikes out of 9 frames, and Wendy McPherson with 7 in a row. Doesn't like this rack. The same lane that Jan Schmidt finished on and left a solid 9 in the first match.
And Wendy left the solid 9 also in the 2nd frame on that lane.
Again, 2 re-racks is the limit on the telecast.
That's
so
right.
She's used them up. Has to ask Tom Shimmick if she gets another one, huh?
That's exactly correct. And she thought 232 was a good game last week.
Yeah, she's doing better this week, but it still may not be enough. This is to take the lead in the match.
Very aggressive shot. Really keeping up the ball speed nicely. They obviously feel comfortable with the condition. You can see, I think her thumb's hurting a little bit.
She's still playing with that thumb. Well, she's got, what is that she has on there?
She's got a patch on it now, and apparently it just started to come off a little bit. It has an adhesive back. Now she wants another re-rack. She's asking Tom Shimmick is going to come over. You can take a look at her thumb. There, you can see the patch is just starting to come up a little bit.
She's telling him what's wrong with it. I can't quite make out what she's saying as we look at her hand there. And
here's the rack.
He gave it to her. She lobbied her case, you know. You have 1. As we look at it, what do you see? Hard to tell from this angle.
It really is. So the 9-pin may be sitting a little off. Maybe.
Well, when you're worried about solid 9, I never was worried about solid 9. 10s and 5s and things like that, but 9s.
Well, when one pops up, you just want to be sure that at least if you throw a decent shot that you get what you deserve, right? Look at that. Oh!
Knocks the 10 out of it.
It actually was the 5-pin, I believe, as we're getting the message.
Well, as we take a look at her
from
last
Tom
shot.
Shimmick, the 5-pin was the one that appeared to be off spot. This last shot, the ball coming in a little flatter. The 6-pin takes out the 10, barely.
Tell you what, if I threw the ball the way she did, the only thing I would worry about the rack is see if 10 pins were down there.
for one more strike. Leanne Barrette needs all 3 to tie with a 279 match. This is taking over the highest scoring television match, or it could, I should say, take over the highest scoring television match. Oh my! As I mentioned before, was set in 1988, 279 to 276.
Well, we could have 279 to 278 here. Now that 7-pin sitting up on 13, is she going to want that swept off of there before she bowls? Or guess not. She doesn't care, huh?
No, that's how focused she is right now. I'll be honest with you. I would probably sweep it off.
Me too.
Got a handful. Just 2 more strikes. They'll take over the highest scoring television match record. It was 555. It could go to 557. Leanne Barrette was the victor of that match. Defeated Alita Sill. Right now she could be...
So she's used to these 270 wins and losses, huh? I mean...
Well, that was a long time ago, actually. That was, like I mentioned, 1988. 6 years ago. When he's sitting there thinking...
I lost by 1 pin last week. It can't happen 2 weeks in a row, can it?
And I did everything I could do. Oh, my! Oh! She did a break there. Trip 4-9, both pins.
Oh, my goodness. Take a look at this.
Ball coming in very, very high. Head pin up against the wall. Hits the 7. Takes out the 4 at the last minute. And I really can't tell you what pin knocked out the 9 pin.
I think it was the 6, but I'm not sure. Oh, and the reaction, yes! Now 1 strike to win, 9 it's a tie, anything less, and she loses. To 278, Leanne Barrette has defeated Wendy McPherson-Papanos in the highest scoring match in ladies professional history. Wow. Alexandria is about 200 miles from New Orleans, and last week was Mardi Gras week. We're taking a look at the inaugural Mardi Gras here, and a lot of people have fun. Well, Leanne Barrette can't wait to get up there because she's throwing nothing but strikes. And with us for a few frames here is a lady who threw a lot of strikes in the 70s. Betty Morris was bowler of the decade in the 1970s. Welcome to ESPN.
Thank you, Mike.
What have you been doing the last couple of years?
Well, I haven't been bowling a lot. I've been working for a gentleman out of Athens, Georgia, who is building a bowling center called Showtime Bowl Orlando, which hopefully in the next couple of days there's going to be a big worldwide press conference on that. It's going to be a great center in Orlando on Disney property that we're really looking forward to.
Well, that must really get you excited about it, to be involved in something that grandiose.
Oh, I certainly am. It's the first, really going to be the first of its kind, and lots of great things happening, and hope to have some big professional tournaments and lots of amateur tournaments too, to bring a lot of bowlers into Central Florida.
Came back and bowled this week and finished 26th, is that right?
Yeah, I did, and I had a great time, and I'm looking forward to bowling next week in New Orleans.
Oh.
Are we coming back out pretty much full-time or part-time,
no.
Or what are the plans?
No, probably just a couple here and there, but I do hope. I'm not retired. I will not retire.
Well, you will not retire.
No.
Huh?
Well, great. It's nice to see you again. You're looking
Thank
beautiful,
you.
as always.
Thank you.
Seen a lot of strikes here tonight, right?
Definitely.
So how does Jackie Sellers feel now coming on against a gal that's got 18 strikes and just can't seem to do anything but strike?
Well, right now she's hoping Leanne Barrette used up all her strikes. And a lot of times we see that in matches, Mike, is the momentum goes, and then all of a sudden they can't hit the building. But I don't think that's going to happen here tonight. Right now, Leanne Barrette has been on. She's averaging 257 for her 2 games. And funny enough, her average on the television pair was 191. Jackie Sellers averaged 240 on the television pair.
Well, right in there on that left lane.
playing a very similar line to what Wendy McPherson played. Not a lot of swing. They have very similar games. Jackie Sellers actually trying to play and is more comfortable playing it a little tighter than circling the ball, say, like a player like Leanne Barrette.
Leanne trying for a quick double here on lane 14.
After that commercial break, Leanne Barrette trying to get back on it. She does, no problem. The first two. The 7 was the last to go there, though.
Betty, have there been a lot of changes? Is it different now on the ladies' tour than it was in the 70s?
Well, yes, there's definitely been a lot of changes. One of the things that has changed dramatically is the amount of equipment that the girls travel with and the various bowling balls they go through during the week. It's just, for me, who started with one bowling ball, maybe two, it's mind-boggling, the different weights and the different surfaces in bowling balls today.
A lot of choices to make nowadays.
A lot of choices.
Well, you were Bowler of the Year, you know, again in '87, obviously the big run in the 70s, but in '87 you were very competitive, and I've also found just in the 2 years that I sat out, Betty, not only the equipment, but the basic tour reps that are out here now acting as caddies for the players, and this was something even 2 years ago we didn't have.
Yes, it's definitely been a big help to a lot of the players, and the ball companies are very, very good to all of the bowlers out here and to provide them with the best and the latest in bowling equipment.
See there, best previous finish in this event, 16th in 1992. Jackie trying, already bettering that. Oh, ringing 10. She threw it great. Jackie throws the ball much slower than Leanne Barrette. Runs right around the 16-mile-per-hour range. Leanne up in the 18.
It would have been a big shot for her to get to try and stay in the match right now. Cross lane at the 10-pin. And she has it. You know, she was the Collegiate Player of the Year, and we had a chance to talk to her and see if she had any expectations about the Pro Tour when she came out.
I started the tour in 1989 and was just anxious to come out and see how I would do, and really had no high expectations, but was looking forward to bowling, and so far I've had pretty consistent years. I've made the top 24 for the entire year, all 4 years that I've been out on tour, so I'm not disappointed. I'm hoping that it does get better, though, but I'm not disappointed with the way things have gone.
And she crosses up high. Jackie Sellers, in going along with what she's talking about, Mike, was telling me last year, she said, this is it, I'm going to go home and get a job. And then the announcement came with the Samstown sponsorship, and I asked her, well, obviously you're back out here this year, and she said, yes, I was not going to have another year like last year, but there's promise now for the ladies on tour, and same thing with Leanne Barrette. They didn't take the time off like they normally do around the holidays. Jackie, as well as Leanne, practiced through the holidays because they knew that there was going to be a lot more at stake this year.
How about you, Betty? Did that Samstown deal affect you coming back out for a little bit?
Well, yes and no. This week I'm here just because I'm in the area and I'm able to bowl. But I think the Samstown sponsorship is the best thing that's ever happened to women's bowling as long as I've been involved in that 25 years. So I think it'll bring out a lot more bowlers.
25 years.
Yeah, 25 years. And I really think it's going to bring out a lot of talent that there isn't a tremendous amount of it across the United States. A lot of women bowlers that don't bowl because they really can't get sponsors because of the prize money just hasn't been what it needed to be.
So competition will get even tougher.
I definitely get tougher.
And Barrette coming up high in that last shot, Mike.
Well,
she left the 9-pin. That was not like the 9 pins we saw earlier.
A little chink in the armor. You know, she had there the first game she finished with 7, the last 7 out of 8 there, and then she had 11 out of 12 in the second game. So what's that? 18 out of 20, and then she started with 3 here, so that was 21 out of 23 until that point. So a lot of strikes.
A lot of strikes, and as I mentioned, she's averaging 257 for the night. She averaged 214 in 1993, and 215 so far here in 1994. And we've talked about equipment a little bit here in this match, Mike. The averages in both the ladies tour and the men's tour are going up. Nikki Giannoulias held the average record for 6 years on our tour. They were broken last year by 3 or 4 of the players. We saw it also on the men's tour. The Mark Ross average record was broken by Walter Ray last year. So with the new resin equipment, we've seen the averages across the country go up.
League bowling, too, as she leaves the 2-8-10. We get a look at it here.
Very difficult spare conversion here. And she's going to try to slide the 2 over to the 10 and still somehow get this 8 out. Open the door for Jackie Sellers.
Well, I suppose that's a little carry down from the oil causing that?
I would have to say the lanes are changing a little bit now. She's going to have to make some parallel adjustments. Possibly she's finding carry down. She's actually going to have to move a little bit right. But she went high on lane 14. Could have been that she let up. Her average speed on that last shot was right around 17.9 miles per hour. Before she was throwing it at 18, really revving it up. So she just might not have got a good hand on it.
Now Jackie backs off. I don't know if that same mosquito that was after us and after Jan Schmidt is now after her or not.
I think it was. She looked down at Tom. I heard Tom Schmidt say, bug, and she shook her head yes. The mosquito is back.
Well, that open has to give her heart.
She's trailing by 6 pins right now. Strike here. Oh.
Struggling on that lane 14 a little bit.
It appears the ball's hooking early in the front part of the lane. We talk about hooking in the heads. That's relatively the first 15 feet of the lane. She's going to have to move a little bit left, but what happens here when you see a change in lane condition is she's moving right, the ball's hooking early for her, but as she moves left, she can get the ball through the front part of the lane, but she can't get the ball to finish in the back end.
Well, we saw it last week where 2 players opened back-to-back there when Alita Sill did that. Jackie Sellers with an opportunity to capitalize and couldn't do it. Fails to convert the 3-6-10. Trails by 20 now. Ask for a re-rack or takes a re-rack on the left lane.
You mentioned that she was the Collegiate Bowler of the Year, 2-time Collegiate Bowler of the Year. She was also 1989 Olympic Festival gold medalist. And since it's the time of the Olympics, thought I would throw that out there.
Of course, everybody in bowling would like to see bowling get into the Olympics.
And they are really keeping a positive attitude. They're one of 5 sports considered for the Olympics in the year of 2000 right now.
Same basic hit at 3 and 10. She had the 3-6-10 before. What does she need to do to convert this? She switched balls. She's switching balls again.
Well, she'll move right as compared to the last shot on lane 14. Obviously, the ball slid. She's going to try to move right to fit the ball right between the 3 and the 10. Good rule of thumb, always move the way your ball's moving. She gets it.
Whoa, she just slides that 3-pin over there and makes it 3 and 10. She trails by 20 right now. As we go to break, we'll find out if she can come back. While we were away, Leanne Barrette kept her striking ways going. This was actually 3 frames ago. But you didn't miss anything because they all look just like that one. That's 1. Here's 2. We'll show you 3 in a minute. This is live. That makes 4. And the one just before this one on the right lane. As I said, they all look the same.
They sure did.
And poor Jackie Sellers, though, just couldn't seem to match it. She opened and did come up with a strike. Right now, she's trying to finish it out for a little pride here.
Well, she was fishing. We saw her move a little bit right, try to play the second arrow, swing it a little bit, open up to the first arrow. It didn't get back. She missed that a spare while we were away. But she got in on lane 13. She made a big adjustment, went in deeper. She decided to play right around 12th with just a little swing to about the 9th board. It seemed to hold line much better for her.
Well, we can see that Leanne Barrette has a seemingly insurmountable lead. You know, when you're in Louisiana, the word is Cajun food. A little later on, we're going to be going out for some of that Cajun food. Get some crawfish. So what's Jeannie thinking? Is she intimidated by this 250 average that she's got?
I I don't think so. I know Jeannie Naccarato, and she's been there before, and she's very, very comfortable in that top seed position. She has won 4 titles out of 7 attempts. So you give her a position, that's the place she would like to be.
She's just trying to stay above 500 now.
That's right. Leanne Barrette, on the other hand, as you mentioned, 252 average, has shot 757 for her first 3 games this evening.
26 strikes out of 36 opportunities. That's a lot of strikes.
Well, this lady can throw a lot of strikes as well, as we saw in the Open. 299 in the position round game. Besides that, she has 22 career-sanctioned 300 games. And that 10-pin last night kept her from getting the 23rd one.
Well, she's thrown those 300s just like that by throwing a lot of balls in the 1-3 pocket, playing that outside angle just as Jan Smith did.
Jeannie Naccarato, recently moving to Tacoma, Washington.
Beautiful area.
Yes, my hometown. Oh, actually, Seattle, Washington is my hometown, but very close to the area. She married Stan Naccarato, who is the president of the Naccarato Association, and apparently they do a lot of charity work.
Boy, that ball seemed to roll out right at the pocket. Just finished right in her flush, though. She says, take that, Leanne.
Right now, Leanne's working on one. And, you know, I mentioned a little earlier to you, Mike, in the break that the momentum of the last match was a little slower, and Leanne seemed to let up. But when the pressure gets put on her, the adrenaline starts going. She picked up her ball speed, and she started striking again. We'll have to see if that happens during this match, if Jeannie keeps the pressure on Leanne, if we don't see higher scores.
Well, Leanne can't bowl much higher scores, and she's bowling. At least she does. I don't want any part of her, I'll tell you what. Boy, last week Alita was 760 some of the first 3 games, and now this week Leanne Barrette was 757. Is that what you said?
That's right.
Wow, I'll tell you what.
But remember, Carolyn Doran knocked off Alita Still last week in that final match. Went down to the 10th frame.
Exciting match last week.
Very exciting, and I think this one's going to be just as exciting. Employed as a sales rep for Tony Westlake Bowling Supply, Leanne Barrette started bowling at the young age of 8. It does appear that she has got locked right back in very early this game, trying to stay aggressive. Jeannie Maiden has worked very hard during the break. Another player, she says, I worked harder than I've ever worked again. She went back to a 4-step approach. She's worked with Pete Cilia and also Pete Somoff and Fred Matson. These are 3 people that she is very fond of, who have helped her tremendously in her game.
A little high, trips out the 4 and 7, but leaves the 10. So she falls a little bit behind in the first match, her first match.
She'll right now just want to convert the 10-pin. As we recall in the match against Wendy McPherson, Leanne Barrette came out very strong. First 5 strikes, left a 10-pin and went to the wall. Wendy did start out slow with the first 2 9 counts and spares.
And no trouble converting the 10-pin. She had some health problems a while back. We talked to her about that. This is what she had to say.
Last year in June, after coming off tour, I suffered with a digestive problem, and they wanted me to have surgery, and we went to other specialists, and they decided not to. So I've been seeing a naturopath and changing my diet quite a bit, and it's helped. And all I have to do is basically watch what I eat out on the road and get plenty of exercise.
Well, the last shot on that lane rolled out right at the pocket. This one didn't. Finished right on through. Bad result. 4-7-10. She almost has to go for this.
You're right. With the way Leanne Barrette, as we mentioned, all evening is bowling. Jeannie Naccarato right now is going to have to try to slide that 4-pin right into the 10.
Changes balls, goes cross lane, goes for it. Close try. 9 out.
And the fans here appreciate a nice try. Very good crowds all week. Nice place to come and bowl, Alexandria, Louisiana.
Barrette ahead by 25, trying to increase it to 35 with 4 in a row. Going high. And the 3, 6, 9, 10.
This could be a difficult spare conversion.
Well, what happened?
Well, let's see exactly where she hit. Ball never made it far enough out to the right. Just started to break a little too early. Didn't skid as far as it had been. Didn't hold line. The ball speed was there, according to Bowler Track.
So where the ball was holding before, now it's not doing that. She's
really
got to give it more room, huh?
Exactly. It appears the lanes the conditioner is. And then when I talk about breaking down, what happens to the conditioner? It starts moving all over the place. The balls pick it up, soak it up. I mentioned this could be a very difficult spare conversion. The ball hit the conditioner in the center of the lane, got into a slide, never got the 9.
Interesting. If she'd have struck there, as we see how the ball deflects and misses the 9 pin there, she'd had a 35-pin lead, 6 and 9 out, and suddenly it's only a 9-pin lead.
Big break for Jeannie Naccarato. She says, whoa,
She
didn't
says,
want to
hey,
do that.
I'm still in the match.
Trying now to get right back on it. She'll probably move a little bit left, again trying to keep that oil line to the left, keeping the drive boards to the right. Well, that's a little harder ball speed. That's another way to look at it.
Ooh, did you see that pin come over in front of the 10 pin? Wow, I wonder if that was a head pin. Boy, that pin just flew over there and missed it.
Right in front. Let's take a look. You're right. Watch the velocity that this head pin comes off the side wall, but you know what? It was the 5 pin.
The 5 pin. Yeah, it kicked it over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Cross lane at the 10. Maintain the lead and gets it. Well, almost halfway through the match, and kind of slowed down on the scoring just a little bit.
Yes, we have. There's a lot at line right now. A lot at stake. We'll have to see if Jeannie Naccarato can take advantage of Leanne's mistake. No one else has up to this point.
Now she went high the last 2 times. Does she make a move?
Definitely. The front part of the lane is hooking a little too much for her on lane 14. She better make a 2-board move with her feet. Says she fouled, but you know what? It's the foul light on lane 13. She's staying up there. It's obvious she did not foul.
Well, you have a foul line judge, don't you, right up there?
We sure do, but there is a foul light on lane 13, not on lane 14. So it's real difficult when you foul on the other lane.
There's our foul line judge, and she's saying, nope, she didn't foul.
No way.
And we can take a look ourselves and see. She winds up a couple inches behind that foul line. You can see that right there.
Jeannie Naccarato looking down. The adjustment she has made here, she set the ball down around the first arrow at 15 feet. It went out to the second board. Still made it back nicely. She decided, I'm going to move left a little bit, but I hit the dry area a little too soon, not getting quite enough slide from the ball.
Boy, she's disappointed in herself that she couldn't double up right there, but she did the same thing. Just got to start a little right too quick and went high right away.
Exactly. When there is that extreme dry area on the right, wet area in the center, it just is, it makes such a difference at what angle you hit that dry, whether you hit it at 10 feet, you hit it at 15 feet, or you hit it at 20 feet, and you've just got to find that exact spot in order to carry.
Well, Leanne Barrette still is ahead by 9. As you said before, nobody's been able to take advantage of her mistakes. And back in the pocket. You know, I noticed on her ball, on Leanne's ball, as she sets up, there's kind of a streak around the ball, and I'm wondering if that's the track or whatever it is at that point in time. Kind of looks, it's a different color green. I mean, I realize that the green ball has got a lot of lines in it.
That's right. It appears that that is the track, and it looks like the lane conditioner, knowing that the resin equipment actually just absorbs it. Maybe it's actually cleaning it as it absorbs it because it's right on her track.
Yeah, you see that kind of lighter green area. You can see it better right there.
And there you can't quite see it. You can see it right from the front, right there.
One more. Yes. Well, Jeannie better start striking right now because Leanne may not stop.
It's been a long time for Leanne Barrette. Went winless last year.
been since, what, October of '92 that she won her last title?
Yes, it has been.
Jeannie Naccarato playing that outside angle with 4 steps, a nice straight swing. And a perfect shot now. Can she do it on the left lane?
Well, the changes Jeannie made again went to the 4-step approach. Jeannie has always had a very deliberate push away. Look how straight her back will be in her first step and how strong her push away is. It's just textbook style. Look at this straight arm. Beautiful. If any junior bowlers are out there watching, this is a style to imitate.
Look at that balance at the foul line and the nice follow through. This is a shot that went high on this left lane. Not much of a head belly. And here's the good shot. She swung it more, so that's the thing. She's got to give it room. Seemed to give it room there, and did.
Gave it room, a little more ball speed. Ball sits in the pocket. Leanne Barrette now only leads by 9.
That ball again seemed to roll out right at the pocket there. Kind of a delicate shot, especially under pressure.
Well, Jeannie's been on a telecast 43 times. I think she can handle some of the pressure. She has 9 career titles, 15th year on tour. She's not a foreign. This is the experience we talked about in the open mic. The inexperience is gone. Now the experience is left.
And it's showing as they're throwing a lot of balls in the 1-3. 19 pins the lead. She can increase it to 29 with 1 more right here. Really put the pressure on Jeannie Naccarato.
Jeannie's last title, the New Generation Classic, came in Yuba City, California in early 1993. She really had a very consistent year last year. 15 tournaments. She cashed in 12 of them, even with all the health problems.
.32 strikes out of a possible 44 opportunities. Will it be 33? Yep.
She moved in much deeper on lane 13. She set that ball probably around 15 feet. Had to be in deeper from my angle. Let's take a look at that shot. Yes, around the 12th board, according to our
good speed,
bowler vision. 11.5 miles.
Here's her reaction. Oh yeah, she senses it now. Jeannie must strike right here.
And
down by 29.
And there's the bowler vision, as I mentioned, 18 miles an hour. Moved in a little bit. Keep a tighter line. Play the oil line.
Well, it's 19 pins. We head to the 10th frame. If I can still keep score, Jeannie can strike out for what, 235?
But Leanne Barrette can throw another 254 game. And she's averaging 252 tonight, so she could get her average.
Here we see 4 in a row versus 3 in a row going into the 10th frame. Right now, to have any chance, Jeannie must strike on this shot. Good speed, but it still creeps high, and that's basically going to do it. The old Greek church. 4, 6, 7, 9, 10. Even if she converts it, it's not going to be enough.
Let's take a look. Now, you mentioned good speed. From that point of view, you're right, 17 miles an hour, but the ball's just breaking high. Again, lane 13 has been a real touchy lane for Jeannie.
Well, she just didn't give it the room that she had given it back in the 8th frame. Here's her first shot. Let's look at her reaction. Kind of grimaces as she lets it go. She's watching it. Will it hold? No. She knew at that point that basically she was out of luck. Leanne Barrette finishing it out. She goes high but trips the 4-pin. It's been her night all night tonight.
And she has
finish it out with 254. If she strikes it out.
Has to be feeling good. As she mentioned, it's been a dry spell for Leanne. Just to get into the championship match. bowl like this, boy, she's going to be going on to next week with a lot of confidence. This minor change she made in her game, just in a ball placement in her stance. Remember, she told me I was holding the ball low. I wasn't feeling comfortable, wasn't sure if I should push the ball up or down or where about. So she said I just moved the ball to my waist and started pushing it a little bit in front of me, and it seemed to be the key for her timing.
Almost a natural thing, you would think. And she finishes off with 10 strikes this game, finishing off with 36 strikes for the night, and wins the match 254 to 194. We'll be back to talk to our champion after this. Be sure to not go away. For all of you that don't have time to watch all of the Winter Olympic Games, be sure to join ESPN Sports Center for live updates beginning Monday at 6 o'clock to 7 and Tuesday through Friday at 6:30 Eastern Time. Final score of our match, 254 to 194. Leanne Barrette is our champion. And to get right to the business at hand, we have some presentations for you. The manager here, Jimmy Charrier, has a nice-looking trophy.
Leanne, after winning 2 regional titles in Alexandria and trying real hard for the last 5 years, we are proud to crown you champion.
Well, that takes care of the trophy. And a nice check here is presented by the proprietor here at Four Seasons Bowl, Jim Sumrow.
Leanne, we are proud to present you this check for $9,000 from Four Seasons Bowling Center. We look forward to seeing all you girls back again next year.
Well, that sounds real encouraging. We'll be back to talk with our champion right after this break. Don't go away.